Welcome to the road to $1 million US, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 3-day time frame, because right now we have warning signals flashing on every single time frame. We're going to start with these higher time frames here and then move on to the immediate short term for Bitcoin. So let's just dive right in. Right now on this 3-day time frame, we have a critical level of support sitting at around 112K in the Bitcoin price. The reason I say support, even with us trading down below this right now, is because we have not closed a candle below just yet. The next candle close is going to be in about a day and 6 hours from now. So make sure to check in with tomorrow's video as well when we are actually going to cover this. Moving on to this 2-day time frame then, here you also see a critical situation with the next candle close that we're getting in about 5 hours from now. If we start breaking down below this 111.7K level, then that will be a bearish confirmation for Bitcoin. And besides that, on the 1-day time frame, guys, we have already broken this uptrend with a candle close here, and therefore I am no longer looking at this 1-day time frame at least as an uptrend. And if we zoom out all the way to this 1-week time frame, notice how right here we have a high, we have a low, but already here we are forming a lower high depending on where this candle actually closes. And if we were to then get a candle close below about 107K in the Bitcoin price, then this would actually confirm a lower low for Bitcoin. At that point, once again, we have a lower high and a lower low, which technically confirms a downtrend on this higher time frame, meaning that I will be looking at this as a bear market from that point until we get a clear invalidation. Now, what the invalidation is, I'll get into that whenever we are actually in that situation, but right now that is not the case. Something that we should keep in mind though is that we do actually have this technical price target to the downside all the way at 87K. Now, if we do end up getting some kind of crazy bounce off of this big level of support from 112 down to 110K, then at that point, guys, of course, when we're breaking this 120K level, for example, once again on this 2-day time frame, that is actually the bullish confirmation for us as it is marked right here in the charts. So of course, if this happens, especially if we get a weekly candle close above as well, you will no longer hear me talking about this 87K level because it is invalidated at that point. But for now, that is not the case yet. So this is why I've been talking about this, although I personally do not love these huge long-term price targets to the upside or to the downside, because it takes a bit more time before we get the actual confirmation as far as I'm concerned, because I do prefer having a bit more confluence before I start talking about possibly the top being in for Bitcoin here. If you're asking for my personal opinion of whether I think it is more likely that we are getting new all-time highs for Bitcoin this cycle, or if this is already it and we are now heading into a bear market, right now I am still leaning more towards the idea that we are getting new highs for Bitcoin at some point in the near future. However, the way I see it is that it doesn't really matter what I think. The only thing that matters is what the charts are telling us. And right now, like I said, if we break below these previous lows, I'm just assuming at that point that we are in a bear market. Unless we get a clear invalidation of new highs getting created, then we start talking about higher price action for Bitcoin after that. So hopefully I was able to explain my current market outlook as simply and as quickly as possible. Now let's quickly take a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables, because yesterday we actually saw a massive outflow of about $360 million in a single day of trading. This is actually slightly concerning because it is such a huge outflow. However, this is not confirming of a change in the trend. So for now, I'm just going to keep an eye on this every single day, of course. And lastly, we should also take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. In the case that you are not familiar with this, let me quickly explain it for you. So right here, you can see that we have liquidity to the downside and we have liquidity to the upside. typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. And right now, yes, we do have liquidity sitting as low as 110.3K. However, since today, we also have big pockets of liquidity to the upside, now at 113.9K and even as high as 116.8K as well. The reason I say most of the liquidity is to the upside on this time frame, while all of this liquidity is right here, is because this liquidity has already been taken out, because this is to the left of where the price action has already been. Okay, so hopefully that makes a lot of sense. If all of this is like new to you and you want to learn more about it, I highly recommend just checking out my free trading course where I explain all of this about Bitcoin liquidation heat map and even a bunch of other things about the basics of technical analysis. So if that is something you're interested in, you can watch it completely for free. Just go to my website, rt1m.com, and from there you will be sent to this page. You can also find the link to this in the video description. But regardless, if you do end up checking out my free trading course or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.